The last year has been rough for me. It's almost made me hate this job. It's so much violence, and it's not just teens, it's adults.
Take me back to your worst night.
It's probably the same night that you probably spoke with Catherine about.
That was a very hard experience.
The young kid who came in, shot up, and was 14 years old.
I have a 14-year-old. And I have taken care of my children's classmates.
A troubling experience for two parents. Both work at UC Health with hopes of saving lives.
That one was very hard for me because I felt like I'm not making a difference.
There was no real justification behind the shooting, just that he was shot.
Catherine and Lawrence are troubled by scenes like this, with a deeper meaning behind them because of those involved.
A gun in the hands of a 14-year-old brain is a scary thing. And there's impulsivity there. Brain's not developed.
In 2022 in Denver, 979 kids between the ages of 10 and 17 were victims of violent crimes. 757 kids were arrested for those crimes.
I think our arrest numbers will show that things are trending up a little bit.
That's about a 20% increase across the city, and on the state level, 13%.
Kids charged with murder, attempted murder has increased. It's still a pretty small percentage of overall juvenile arrests. Handgun possession charges are probably the top charge right now that we see, but unfortunately murder charges are filed against juveniles from time to time.
Patrick Hedrick is the director of public safety youth programs. He says there aren't many options for teens committing these crimes.
We might be expecting this young person to completely change their behavior, but we're putting them right back in the same situation.
The same situation with expectations of different results.
How do we get those services and supports in place so that they can act and respond a little bit differently while they're in the community?
Identifying the problem, whether it's poverty or mental health.
It's hard to ask a kid to go to counseling if they don't know if the lights are going to be on when they get home tonight.
It's difficult because I think the reason behind it is so buried sometimes and the root causes don't seem obvious.
Trauma surgeon Catherine Velopoulos aims to reach kids when they are most vulnerable, in the hospital bed.
The whole idea behind a hospital-based program is that we reach people at a vulnerable moment when maybe they're more open to changing the direction of their life.
This program at UC Health is called AIM, the At-Risk Intervention and Mentoring Program.
If I've just fixed their physical injuries and haven't addressed the whole person and everything that led to this, then I don't feel like I've done my job.
As she tends to the physical wounds, outreach workers like Lawrence Goshan help heal the mind.
When I see a teenager, he's going through these things. He's been shot, stabbed, beat, or the perpetrator of it, and I try to talk to them and they're just locked in. They don't want to talk. They stick to the G code, what we call it.
Lawrence knows the G code because he once lived by it.
I'm an ex-gang member. I still keep a lot of ties with the gang. And I'm just like, damn, man, we fooled these kids up. We messed them up. To be honest, I'm almost burnt out here. It's a lot.
To know that you are at a point where you're ready to give up and you're burnt out.
I'm tired of seeing kids all opened up, open wounds and damaged, and it's just becoming too much for me.
If I save their life and then don't give them opportunity to live a full life, then I haven't done my job either.
Those working to prevent the violence don't know what to expect this year after seeing increases in crime with no resources.
There needs to be a level of prevention so that any family or young person that's experiencing these issues, at the first sign of a problem, can get help. Secondly, it also is that back-end system. We have young people that are coming back into our community. How do we support them?
Another year where those helping kids have no insight, but they continue to hope for change. What's your hope for this year?
My hope for this year?
Whether that be for...
Is it a realistic hope or...
Yeah, be real with me. Even if you can be real with me. That's all I ever ask.
So realistic hope is just that it decreases just a little bit. Because I'm a firm believer in that you chip off a little bit at a time and we can get to the point where it's almost non-existent. I would like it to stop as a whole, but I know it's not. So I feel like if we can catch some of these kids before they transition into adulthood, we can start working on breaking the cycle.
Breaking that cycle. There are three factors when it comes to that cycle and when it comes to gun violence: social media, music, poverty, and mental health. Social media, seeing the life that other people live, it's often better than yours. Music. Rappers these days, they often sensationalize the guns, the drugs, the money, the big chains and jewelry that may seem extravagant, everything that's appealing to the eyes. Yet the artist may not be committing the crimes in the streets to actually get those things, but the music says otherwise. Poverty. People want to make it out of a bad situation. And then you have mental health, something that's often not prioritized, especially when it comes to the Black community. Essentially, people want to be the alpha, known in the streets for their crimes, the cars they have, the jewelry, everything. And sadly, in many Black communities, it's not the accolades that you receive in school that get you noticed. It's those things that you do in the streets.
You know, one thing that really stood out to me in that story is the fact that they're talking about how the minds of a 14-year-old are just not developed. You know, 14-year-olds think that like this is the time, but it's like you have so much life ahead of you, and what the decisions that you make today as a 14-year-old when you're not really understanding life and what's ahead can impact you for the rest of your life.
You just made a perfect point. Lawrence, ex-gang member, when he was, I believe, 15 years old, he robbed a woman at the Stapleton airport, took her car, and she essentially saved him. She kept him from going to jail for many years, and here he is now, a 44-year-old man. He's a father, yet still paying for some of the mistakes he made when he was younger. But he's helping a lot of these kids now, and I'm hoping to be able to reconnect him with her soon so she will be able to see how he's grown from that. And hey, you could have sent him to jail, and he could have been someone else at this point in his life.
Absolutely. I think one thing that all of us here and all of us that are watching at home can agree on is we want to see this trend go down now. So, Darius, we appreciate your reporting. Thank you.